Hey, it's the Sporting Tribune, and I'm excited. I know it's football season, but you guys know I have a soft spot for some wrestling. So we got to talk about No Mercy going down this Saturday. That'll be September 30th. You can check it live on Peacock as Ilja Dragunov, the Mad Dragons, taking on Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship. And by the way, you can catch NXT every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. on USA Network. Ilja, first off, thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to do this. I know you've done a few interviews here in your NXT career, but I feel a little bit of pressure because I'm trying to open you up and let people know about you outside of the ring. And first off, how are you?
I'm very good, Adrian. Don't feel any pressure at all. I'm always looking out for a good conversation.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. And like, let's get straight to it, man. Because when it comes to you, and you in the ring, I think that the words that people immediately go to are intense and passion and focus. And I think that's why so many people enjoy what you do. But I need to know, like, outside of the ring, is there anything that comes close that kind of hits that passion? Like, are you a huge soccer fan? Is there a show that you can't miss and know too much about? Like, what is it?
I gotta be honest, everything I'm really interested in is always job related. Like because I like look at me in the ring. Like look at all my performances. How this can't be my life, right? I mean, like I'm such an unbalanced person. I push everything I do to like the extreme. Like if I do something, either I don't do it at all and I keep it somewhere else, or I need to do it like with as much passion and as much drive as possible. And this is like I like martial arts, for example. I like for if I watch shows, I'm a huge anime fan. But this is also everything. All of these things are flowing into my job because you can see that. It's I just everything I do is the inspiration for me to just put even more of my true core into my performances. To put the entire reality and just take those people on a ride and don't let them go.
That is true. And I mean, I feel the same way. I wanted to do radio and be on TV since I was a little kid. And every time I see something, I try to like bring it into my job and into my career. So I appreciate that. And like, look, wrestling's unique, right? Because there's so many different pockets that you could approach the business. And like I just told you, I think that so many people relate to you and enjoy you because of that passion and that intensity, because that's how much they love the sport too. But it's also fascinating because it's not something, or at least I think that for you, you're like, oh, my match is in an hour. Let me tone it down and really get focused. Like, no, this is an everyday thing, 24 hours, 365, and that's how you approach stuff. I gotta ask you with that, where does it come from? Does it come from your parents? Does it just come for the love of the sport? Like, what do you attribute the most to some of those aspects of you?
I think I think it's something that just I felt all the time since I am in this business. I felt every time I've been doing this, I felt like I can really express myself in this. And I think if somebody does something where he feels like he can be a part of his honest self, this is something you stick to. Like this is something you not only stick to, this is something that you want to become your living, like your existence. That's the reason why I don't need like a lot of hobbies next to this thing because my mind is there all the time. And this is the reason why it's also not hard for me. Like, of course, physically hard. It's just mentally hard a lot of times. You gotta sacrifice a lot of things. You gotta miss a lot of days, probably also with family. There's a lot of things that this job takes, but I truly feel I can be myself without even forcing myself to be myself. And I can really deliver so much passion because I just feel so much passion before I go to this, if that makes sense.
Was there a turning point? Like I think I just said it, how I've always wanted to do this, wanted to talk on a microphone since I was 8 years old. So it's all I knew. It wasn't like I went to school one day and saw someone like, whoa, no, it's like, no, this is what I've wanted to do. And not everybody's like that. For you, is it kind of the same thing? Or was there a turning point where you're like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna try this. I'm going to make this happen.
The funny thing is that this didn't come from me from a young age, so I kind of like get got to know it like per accident. I just turned on the TV and just saw like a match that really captivated me, and I just enjoyed how it looked and everything. So like really like probably the first match I ever seen was Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle, which
A
is like the
classic.
best start you could possibly have. And I really kind of that got me the thought stayed in my head, and somehow somewhere when I was raised in Germany, I got the opportunity to get to know like a person from the independent scene in Germany who was later starting a wrestling school in my city. And from there, I just started, and somehow I never stopped. Doesn't matter if I had a job and I needed to, and I worked shows on the weekends, and I just never had a day off. I just never stopped, and just one thing came after another, and I knew, well, I just don't know if I can stop doing this, and I didn't. So that's the reason I'm here today.
And well, the world and fans around the world appreciate that and are thankful for that. And it's cool. Like it makes me appreciate you even more. And you're kind of giving me like the mentality of being a sponge, you know, and just trying to soak everything in and putting it into your craft. And you're at a place where if you're trying to do that for wrestling, there's no better place in the world. You're at NXT. And recently I talked to Grayson Waller and he talked about some of the tidbits he picked up from Nigel McGuinness, talking to him. And you have so many coaches, of course, HBK, Triple H, hell, even Becky Lynch and some of the stars that have spent time around NXT. Is there one person that sticks out to you, like a piece of advice or something they told you that really sticks with you even today?
It's funny that you call Nigel McGuinness. Nigel McGuinness, big shout out to him. He is one of my first big role models, and like not idols, but like performers I really love. Where I really have, which is a lot of the things I do today is based on his accomplishments and his style. So wonderful performer, like back in the days. Um, Today, I just feel there's a lot of things. I mean, like just look at like the person running the place, like Shawn Michaels was such a unique performer he has been. Like everything he did was just entirely his own. And to accomplish that because it's just so hard. It is so hard to be different than anybody else because just from a performance standpoint, it is I think it is easier to be good in the ring, but it is very hard to be uncomparable in the ring, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
So and this is something he, for example, accomplished, and this is something that I try to do all the time. It's not like it's performance art if you do it right. So if you do everything in a certain different way and in a way only you can do them, in a if you handle yourself in a way only you can do that, I think this is like the biggest thing you can possibly accomplish in this industry.
Well, the thing I love about it, it's a craft where you're telling a story with your body. And I'm curious because you've gone viral the past couple of weeks, not just because of your ring work, but that intensity. People are really worried about your veins popping out of the skull. Have you seen some of these screenshots and things? Like, have you seen this?
I did, and I was thinking how perfect a situation can possibly be. Like how often this picture came up on my timeline and on my post was ridiculous. But I don't know how I do this, and I don't know if I can do this again. But like somehow, I don't know. I sometimes I get very dehydrated before I go into the ring. I don't know why. Probably I just need to drink more water during the day, but I kind of like always in my thoughts. But I think this is a major thing. Like my face is probably the thing that gets me the furthest, expressive wise.
Hey man, you said uncomparable, and that's where you are, and that's a good spot to be. And then first off, Sporting Tribune today, Ilja Dragunov joining us, the Mad Dragon. Again, check out No Mercy this Saturday night, September 30th. You can check it out on Peacock, and of course, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. on the USA Network, NXT on USA Network. This is the portion of the interview called Gunther. I'm assuming you're on your media run. And I'm sure no one's asked you about your matches with him, so I'm glad to be the first. All right. I do want to ask, you going back into the locker room after those classic matches, which, by the way, again, you went viral this weekend. Don't know if you know, website that collects all the ratings for the matches all time in WWE history. Two of those matches that you had with Gunther, both in the top 10 all time, which is crazy. But I want to know, you going back to the locker room, was it just immediately standing ovation? If you could talk me through that.
First of all, it's funny that you say I walked back to the locker room because I was barely walking after this.
It's true.
Like really, I remember. I can't really remember the reactions like backstage or something like this. I can only remember that I think in both matches, most definitely, I had moments in the match and after the match where I thought for the very first times how I don't know how I can keep going. Like this person, Gunther, is so is so much pushing you to another level that you can't even describe it in words. And me as a person, like he is most definitely like the absolute final boss. If you just look at him, he has this aura. And I'm one of a dying breed. I'm a very good underdog because it doesn't matter how much you stomp, slam, strike me, whatever. You're not gonna keep me down. There's no way you can do this until I really collapse in the middle of this ring and bring this both things together. Well, it is the most exhausting, hard performance that you can possibly deliver because both parties they just feel it. They just feel it. The person taking down the underdog, like squeezing everything out of him, just like squeezing, like just those chops, how loud they were, and like there are certain sequences that still going viral on social media.
As they
This is
should.
just some chops that were so loud, that were so loud. And this feeling like getting this is like it just takes the entire oxygen out of your body. But this is like a roller coaster ride. Like people just were feeling it from beginning until the end of those matches. And just to describe how much this taught me and made me the version I am today, I can't find words for this.
So, and I think you answered my next question. I think you answered it in your response. Like, what you learned about yourself as a performer during that match was a new level of what your limit is. Is that safe to say?
Definitely, definitely, and I think and it gives me a lot of proof for what I have been doing already. But it taught me just so much more, like physicality, right? Physicality is something. There's a lot of ways to get over with the audience, and sometimes it's just like little things, just like things you never would think about. A certain persona, a certain way to talk. Like there's so many ways to get over in the industry. Like just you gotta find it. That's physicality. That is something everybody feels. That is something everybody reacts to. Like if you just hear those noises, if those shots land on you, nobody's gonna turn away and do something different. They're gonna pay the whole attention to you. And this is like probably my recipe for every performance I have in. Like you go in, deliver everything you have, be as passionate you can, and treat it like a real fight. And if you believe it, everybody in the audience will, and they have. They did that.
And they
This
will
is something that
and they will continue to do so. I am curious, those matches being so great and so historic. Was there someone that reached out after the match that kind of surprised you and like, I can't believe they just hit me up, sent me a message, gave me a call? Was there somebody?
oh, this is a very good question. I know some people did, but I don't remember a specific. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember. It was on social media. A tweet from Kevin Owens after the second Gunter match at Takeover. Uh, and hey, sometimes you just exactly get those reactions that you want to get out of the performers. And I think he wrote, if there's one person who really deserved to hold the championship, that is, and that was my name, because especially in a championship fight, if you can if you fight that hard, that people really think at the end you deserve something. Like this is a very hard word. Like, you didn't accomplish it. You deserved it. This is the best message you can get out of the fight.
That's incredible. And before we get you out of here, we just have a few minutes. So I'm calling it quick hitters, just whatever comes to mind first. And we'll run through these to close this out. Ilya, I want to know what your first job was.
Uh, at a pizza place in the kitchen work.
Is it annoying going through TSA with a title belt?
What was the question?
Is it annoying having to go through TSA security for a flight with a title belt in your luggage and your carry-on?
Oh no, it's just funny.
They're like, what is this? Okay, two more. What does a cheat day look like for you?
A gigantic pizza with a lot of chicken wings.
The barbecue, mild, hot? What are we going with? You're intense. It has to be
Yeah,
like the hottest one, right?
not only like let's say 50-50 barbecue and buffalo.
Facts. I love it. And then last one, cooler moment for you. Seeing yourself as an action figure, seeing yourself in a video game. Which one was cooler?
I think as an action figure because my son wanted immediately one. That was like a very cool reaction from him.
Oh, that is incredible. Ilya, this has been enjoyable. Thank you. I know you've talked to a lot of people today. We appreciate the time, and we will catch you this Saturday night at No Mercy. Best of luck.
Thank you very much, Adrian. I enjoyed it too.